Hello and welcome to Diecast Restos. My name is Jason and this is Majorette's number 221 Audi Quattro, produced between 1983 and 1988. Not all came with these oversized chunky tyres, but they will be being replaced today because they really just don't suit. Designs varied on the casting, but all had an Audi Sport Rally theme. Today I shall be customising this one with a set of Quattro wheels, a general tidy up and a set of rally decals. The casting is based on the Audi Quattro, which was produced from 1980 until 1991. The name Quattro comes from the Italian word for the number 4, in reference to the vehicle's all-wheel drive system. It was developed after Audi chassis engineer Jörg Bensinger found the Volkswagen Iltis four-wheel drive military vehicle could outperform other vehicles tested in the snow. Here's an image of the real Quattro in rally spec, carrying a livery similar to my replica decals. The Quattro was offered alongside the less expensive front-wheel drive Audi Coupe, also without a turbocharger. The Quattro was the first rally car to take advantage of recent changes to the rules to allow all-wheel drive vehicles to compete in the World Rally Championship. The early evolutions of the Quattro, similar to this casting, were very much based on the road-going cars. However, the first competition Quattro from 1980 produced 300 horsepower, where the production vehicles pushed out 197 horsepower from their 2.1 litre inline 5-cylinder engines. The rally car took its first competition win in 1981 when Hannu Mikkola steered the Quattro to victory in the Swedish Rally. Later the same season, at the Rally San Remo, legendary French driver Michèle Mouton became the first female driver to win a World Championship event, piloting the Quattro. In 1982, Mikkola, Mouton and Stig Blomqvist drove the Quattro to a combined 7 rally victories, which was enough to secure the Manufacturers' Championship. Future Audi driver Walter Röhrl pipped Mouton to the driver's title by 12 points. Then in 1983, Audi debuted their first evolution of the Quattro, the A1. The new car won the Swedish Rally and the Rally de Portugal before the A2 was released onto the stages. The Quattro A2 won in Argentina, Finland and Great Britain as Mikkola took the 1983 driver's title. Audi lost out in the Manufacturers' Championship to Lancia and their incredible 037. Come 1984, Audi were again dominant using the Quattro A2, as Stig Blomqvist took the driver's title and Audi secured the manufacturer's trophy. During the year, Audi developed the Sport Quattro S1, a homologation car for Group B rally specifications and thus sold in limited numbers as a production car. It differed from the Quattro as it had an evidently shorter wheelbase. It also had a steeper windscreen rake, wider wheel arches and wheels, and had a carbon Kevlar body shell. Road cars now had 302 horsepower at their disposal, while rally spec pushed out 444 horsepower. However, the shortening of the Sport Quattro's wheelbase meant that the car's already front-heavy bias was worsened and created more instability. But, if driven correctly, it could offset the notorious understeer issues the four-wheel drive cars suffered from, due to the increased turn-in speed. So while Audi were outpaced by Peugeot's all-wheel drive entry, the 205 T16 in 1985, Michèle Mouton took the S1 to the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb and won it in record time. Following the S1's lack of success back in the World Rally Championship, the S1 E2 Quattro was introduced as an update at the end of 1985. Power output was again up to 473 horsepower from the same 2.1 litre engine, but with the recirculating turbocharger, actual power was closer to 500 horsepower. The car was now fitted with an aggressive aero kit, loaded with wings and spoilers to increase downforce. Weight was reduced to just over a metric tonne, and the car could now accelerate from 0 to 62 miles per hour in 3.1 seconds. The E2 took its first victory at the 1985 San Remo Rally, but would be the final Group B rally car produced by Audi. The last cars were producing almost 600 horsepower. But following the tragic 1986 rally in Portugal, Audi withdrew as a works team from the World Rally Championship. However, Walter Rule did enter an E2 to the 1987 Pikes Peak event and promptly won it. The production Quattro continued on until 1991, when it was replaced by the Audi 80-based S2. Personally, I loved the Group B era of rallying and the insane cars that it produced. But when regulations are exploited and safety is put in jeopardy, it was only ever going to end in tears. So you've seen me polishing, priming, painting and colouring in the casting, but now that is all done and dried off, I can begin applying my decals that I got from Waltonstyle. I shall leave a link in the description below to his store, and also to Diecast Dreams Custom Parts, where the Quattro wheels came from. I was unsure whether to cut the decals surrounding the doors while wet, so I experimented and did one wet, one dry either side. I think the wet cut was best as I could manipulate the decal more and it seemed less likely to tear. Anyway, I shall leave you in peace while I apply the rest of my decals. So you'll note I've left some of the decal covering over the window hole. I opted to leave it like this rather than cut it after trialling with the window piece fitted. It looked fine, so I've left it as is. My final application is a German registration plate to fill that gap at the back. Now to reassemble the casting. The window piece is polished up well. That intricate Quattro moulding on either side looks great. The washed interior is placed back in, while the wheels are pre-attached to the base, utilising some chunky Greenlight tyres. So here is how Majorette's number 221 Audi Quattro appeared prior to my custom, with those nasty chunky wheels fitted. I like the original design on this one, and it wasn't in an awful condition, but for me, the wheels had to go. I just don't like how they protrude from the arches. But it gave me an opportunity to get some excellent period correct Quattro wheels and use some new decals for the first time. And so here is how this Queasy Quattro now looks. It retains its high ride height and excellent suspension that Majorette models of this era so often came equipped with. It's sitting on the custom wheels that don't stick out anywhere near as much, while having chunky rubber wrapped around the rims. These are some very good decals that were likely designed for the short wheelbase Hot Wheels S1 Quattro, but they have carried over to this casting fairly well. I do feel that I might have overdone it with the Citadel, so I might scale back on the shading on my next build. The grille looks a lot better with the black surround and the chrome badge, while the lights, which are part of the base construction, look superb. All I've done with them is polish them with some Autosol. Anyhow, that is it from me today. Check out my Patreon and Instagram pages for all the latest, and sign up if you can. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. That just leaves me to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you again for the next one. Bye for now.